people not joining my business? Why are people not making money? And it's getting down to the root cause. Got to get down to the root cause as to why these things are happening. Okay. People are not joining my business because maybe, you're not promoting yourself the right way. Maybe you're not setting up the proper ads. Maybe you're not, posting enough on social media. Maybe you got to change your approach. You got to sit down and you got to figure out the diagnosis, really get down to that root cause, write them all down. Write them all down. Why are people not making money? Maybe you don't got the right systems in place. Maybe you got to organize a better step-by-step process to get your people organized when they get business. Like, this is an example. As I said, right? Everyone is going to deal with different problems in business. And you sit down and you diagnose the problem. Remember, the key with step 3 is, why is the problem happening? That is the question you want to answer. Why is this problem happening in my life right now? Okay. And you get down to the root cause of why that problem is happening. Then you go to step 4, which is design a plan. Now that you identified the problem, you figured out why the problem is happening, you did the diagnosis with step 3, now you design a plan. And now you got to design a plan around what's going to help you get out of the problem. So using the example that I used, right, which is people were not joining my business, which was what my problem was, and people weren't making money. Then we figured out why. There wasn't enough promotion, lack of systems, not enough posting on social media, so on and so forth. Now I'm going to design a plan, which revolves around posting more, getting the right ads set up, putting the right step-by-step systems in place, so that when people do join the business, there's a simple step-by-step process for them to be able to earn more, right? So it's sitting down and figuring out a right plan around your diagnosis. You figured out why it's happening. You figured out why the problem is happening. Now let's design a plan around that. That's step 4. And then number 5 is execute. And then go execute the plan. And then come back and see if you were able to get through the obstacle. If you got through it, perfect. You just fixed one of your problems, which was people joining your business and making sure people make money. Okay. Now you figured it out. You got it. Now people are joining your business because you're posting more, your ads are hitting, everything is working in your favor. The people that are joining your business are making money because the system that you put in place, okay, is allowing them to execute properly. And it's just working in your favor now. And that's what it's all about, guys. It's about keeping it simple, right? You got to keep it simple. This is so important. All right. And I use that 5-step process for everything. I use it for business. You can even use the 5-step process for relationships, right? Think about it in a relationship. What's the goal? The goal is to eventually, let's say you find somebody and you're like, yo, I eventually want to marry this individual. Okay. But then you face problems. Maybe you guys have problems with, communication. Maybe you guys have problems with social media or something like that. Just putting some ideas out there, right? You're dealing with some problems right now: lack of communication, lack of empathy, lack of, understanding of each other, social media, so on and so forth, right? That's number 2. We identify what the problems were. Okay, now diagnosis, number 3. Why is this problem happening? Right? Why is there a lack of communication? Why are we arguing about social media? Why are these things happening? Right? Why? You get down to the root cause of it. Okay. There's a lack of communication because one person doesn't like to communicate, or there's a lack of communication because one doesn't take the time to listen properly, right? It's sitting down and figuring this out. Maybe there's a problem with social media because one individual is, following and liking pictures, whatever the problem could potentially be. I'm just giving you guys an example how you could use this for relationships. Then you identify the problem, you figure out the why the problem is happening, then you design a plan. Okay, look, if we want to improve our communication, next time we disagree on something, let's have a conversation about it instead of getting mad about it. Okay, whenever I'm talking, I want you to listen. Okay, so don't interrupt me. Don't butt in, don't do those things. Just let me finish and then you talk. And let's listen to understand, because remember, there's 3 sides to every story. There's your side, my side, and the truth. Let's focus on the truth. Okay. And that could be a plan that you guys can use, right? It's what it's all about, and sitting there and realizing that, hey, we got to fix our communication. Communication is huge in relationships. As a matter of fact, it's one of the biggest problems that most relationships face is a lack of communication. So if you're able to design a plan around how to improve your communication and you execute on it, you just got through a problem. That's how it is, guys. This is the 5-step process. You can use this for anything. I've used this for my business. I've used this for relationships. I've used this for my family. Okay. I had a problem with my family where, my family said I wasn't spending enough time with them and I had forgot about them. Okay. What's the diagnosis to that, Nano? The diagnosis to that is that I was spending too much time on calls, trainings. I would be sitting at dinner and worried about business. I would be at events, and everything was always about the business, the business, the business. And I kind of disregarded my family. So guess what I did? I got down to the root cause of it. I was just so in love and so passionate and just so invested in my business that I forgot about my family. Okay. And, they called me out on it. I designed the plan. And what was the plan? The plan was, you know what, Nano, when you're at dinner, phones down. Don't even bring your phone to the dinner table. When it's work is work, when it's play is play. Okay, so I started to design a plan around that. I started to make it a priority to spend Sundays with my family, go to church on Sundays with my mom. Okay, when I'm sitting at dinner, bring no phones. Okay, I instead of planning calls around my family time, I started to have blocks throughout the day. Okay, this time is for my family. These days are for my family. These weekends are for my family. And I started to do those things. And guess what? We got through the problem. My mom appreciated it. My dad appreciated it. And now it all started to work on our favor. So think about that. I've used the 5-step process for everything: family, business, relationships. I even used the 5-step process with my relationship with God. Okay. And I say this with respect to whatever it is that you believe out there. Okay. One of my problems was that I didn't have a close relationship with my creator. Okay. And when I got down to the root cause as to why I didn't have a good relationship with my creator was because I wasn't praying enough. I wasn't going to church enough. I wasn't reading the word. I wasn't following the principles to live by, all these different things, right? I got down to the root cause as to why. And then what did I do? I designed a plan around it. And my plan involved Bible study. It involved going to church on Sundays, tithing. It involved me, living by his principles, all these other things. Bam, 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 bam. Executed. Now, guess what? My relationship with God is stronger. So realize how all the problems that happened in my life, I just used the 5-step process. Even when it comes to finances, guys. Again, another example. One of my problems was that I would make, let's say I was making $5,000 a month. I was spending $5,200. I sucked at budgeting, right? I had no, I wasn't making any money in reality, because if you're making 5,000 a month and you're spending 5,200, then you're really broke, So it's like, I went through a phase in my life where I was going through that. So I realized that I had a problem with budgeting. Okay. Now, again, that's step 2. Identify the problem. Number 3 is, why is this problem happening? Well, I'm spending so much money on subscriptions. I'm spending so much money on eating out. I'm not being careful with my money. I don't know where my money is going. I'm just spending, 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 spending. And there's no regard for finances. So what did I do? Once I got down to the root cause as to why that happened, what did I do? Then I designed the plan. My plan involved getting rid of subscriptions that I no longer needed. Instead of eating out and spending, hundreds of dollars every single week, I said, yo, let me just buy groceries. Let me do a meal prep. Okay. I saved a ton of money there. Okay. I started to do month.
All right, guys. Here we go. Let's get this call started. And there we are. Grand Rising Familia. Happy Thursday. I hope everybody is having a beautiful start to their days. I know I am. Let me get some light in here, actually. I think we need some light. Let me just move this over right here. We need some more light in here. I feel like I'm way too... That might be better. Yeah, there we are. This is so much better. All right, amazing. Well, guys, Grand Rising, happy Thursday. Hope everybody is having a beautiful start to their day. It is February 27th. We are coming up on literally the last days of February. And I'm very excited because it's 2 days. It's been 2 days. Sorry, it's 2 more days, today and tomorrow, till February ends, and then we officially wrapped up, the first 2 months of the year, and it feels like it's just going by so fast, right? It just feels like it was just a new year. Now it's already February. We're basically in March. Next thing you know, March is over, and the first 90 days of the year are gonna be gone, right? And it just goes to show how fast time flies, right? The first quarter of the year is basically almost finished. You know how many more quarters we have of that? 3 more. So when you look at it from that perspective, it just shows you how time flies, really. And I feel like growing up, time was a lot slower, but I feel like now that I'm older, I feel like time is just boom, 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 boom. Right? It's even crazy to think that the first quarter is basically done and there's only 3 more quarters after that. And then the year is over. So, it's just putting a lot of things into perspective for all of us, that we got to take advantage of the time that we have, that every day counts, that every day is a priority, and we can't just overlook the beauty that we have, which is time, because later on in life, what we're going to be trying to do is buy more time. So let's make sure that we're taking advantage of the time that we have here today. So super excited. Thank you guys so much for hopping on. Real quick, I just want to see, where's everybody calling in from? I see we got close to over 100 people already on the call this morning. Just want to see where's everybody calling in from this morning. Let me see some cities, some countries. We got LA, my brother out. Alex, what's goody, bro? We got Chicago. We got South Carolina. We got Chicago. Much love, fam, for sure. Albuquerque, New Mexico in the building. I love Albuquerque. Been there a couple times. Miami's here. Virginia's here. My brother Michael was good. Dallas, Texas. Toronto, San Diego. Paris, France is in the building. Italy, Lake Como. Oh, my God. One of my favorite places in the world is in the building. We got Arizona, St. Paul, Minnesota, Charlotte, Virginia, Slovenia's in the building, UK is in the building. Okay. Macedonia's in the building. I see a Nano in there. I don't know if that's somebody else trying to be me or if that's your real name, but if not, shout out to you, bro. Boston, Massachusetts in the building. Puerto Rico, PR. No, it's my name. That's awesome, bro. 2 nanos. Haven't met many nanos in life. But yeah, fam, that's awesome. We got people all the way from all around the world here, and it's just really, really beautiful. Honestly, the whole world is here, which is awesome. So I want to talk to you guys about a couple of things today. And before I show you guys that, give me 1 sec here on Instagram. I just gotta transfer something over really fast to my notes so I could have it here. I wanted to talk about this because I had this conversation with somebody the other day, and I was like, yo, you know what? This could be a really good topic for Mornings with Nano that a lot of people can learn from, right? Because a lot of people start entrepreneurship, and entrepreneurship is such a beautiful journey for anyone to embark on, right? It's just one of those journeys that really excites you. And the thing about entrepreneurship and everything that everybody embarks on is that everybody only talks about the good things about entrepreneurship, right? They talk about being your own boss, all the financial freedom. They talk about the travel. They talk about the money you can make. They talk about being your own boss, waking up when you're done sleeping, living a life of financial abundance, all these things, right? And I feel like a lot of what entrepreneurship is that there is a lot of that, right? And I love that. And I can tell you that I've experienced that. But what they don't tell you is what I want to teach you guys about. Because on Instagram and the people that we know and we follow, they only show the good. Nobody ever shows the bad. Nobody ever shows the things that happen behind the scenes. And I know a lot of us are on our entrepreneurship journeys and we are either stepping into it or we're planning on stepping into it. But the real journey is actually filled with a lot of unseen challenges and unexpected lessons. And I want to teach you guys a little bit about what is the 5 things that they don't tell you about the entrepreneurship journey. And some of you guys are going to be able to relate. And this training is not meant to scare you. It's meant to prepare you. It's meant to make you aware of what's actually happening here. And it's going to teach you a lot, even if you're in the middle of your entrepreneurship journey, right? So real quick, if you guys are ready to take notes on the 5 things that they don't tell you about entrepreneurship, put a 5 in the chat box if you guys are ready for this. All right, because this is going to be a good one. And we're all going to learn from this. I still to this day learn from this. Like when I was taught this earlier, I was like, sheesh, like even though I've been in this journey for a couple of years, it made all the sense in the world. And remember, this is something that you guys can use. Remember, guys, this is something about my trainings that you guys may not be doing. But let me tell you something here. You know, you can use my trainings as trainings for your teams, trainings for your leadership, trainings to teach your kids. You could use my trainings that I do on these calls as reels. You could use it as prompts. You could use it as, I mean, bro, I'm pretty sure you could even create ebooks out of the trainings that I'm doing here. Truth be told, if some of you guys knew what you can do with everything that I teach you guys here, you can do so much here. You can do your own reels. You can create your own content. You could probably create merch off of the quotes that I give you guys on here. So like, you know, guys, take advantage of this stuff. This stuff is the stuff that I give you guys here is very valuable and super, super, you know, next level. I'll never teach you guys, you know, anything that I know is not going to be beneficial. So let's go right into it. The 5 things that they don't tell you about entrepreneurship. Number 1 is your biggest enemy is yourself. That's the first thing that they don't tell you about entrepreneurship. That the biggest enemy that you're going to fight is not going to be your friends. It's not going to be your family. It's not going to be your significant other. It's not going to be your you know, your classmates or, you know, your business partners. The biggest enemy during the journey is yourself. We are our own biggest enemies. And when I was told this the other day, I sat back and I said like this. He was like, Nano, you want to know what's the first thing people don't tell you about entrepreneurship? And I'm like, what is that? He's like, that the biggest enemy is going to be you. You are the biggest enemy that you got to fight the whole time. And I sat there and before I said something, I thought about it. And I'm like, it's true. Because when I think about all the challenges, all the obstacles, everything I've had to overcome over the years, it was all things that I created. Now that I actually, because remember, there's 2, you know, you can either react to it and be like, nah, hell no, there's no way, there's bigger enemies than that. But then when I actually sat back and I looked at it, and I'm like, yo, I was the one that created all the challenges. Whether I did it consciously or subconsciously, I did it. You're the op. It's true. I'm the op. I'm the opposition. I'm the enemy. The old me versus the new me is the enemy. That's why they say that your old life must die so that the new one can be born. So right now, you guys think that you're fighting the enemy, which is, you know, people call it like the devil or, you know, the opposition, or you think that it's the fact that your friends don't support you or your family doesn't support you or anything like that. But in reality, the biggest enemy you have is yourself. All that fear, all that self-doubt, the imposter syndrome that we all live with, okay? All of that stuff is what holds us back, that doesn't allow us to grow. And understand that in this journey, success isn't just about the strategy, because I could give you the strategy to become successful. You know, God knows how many people I've given the strategy. Yo, here's what you got to do to become a 6-figure earner. I've given it to many people. Yo, here's the 6-figure journey. Here's the 6-figure blueprint. Here's what you got to do every day for the next 12 to 24 months, and you'll be earning 6 figures a year. But it's not just about the strategy, it's about the mindset. And are people willing to put the work in? Are people willing to put the work in to themselves, though? That's the thing. It's not about the work on the business, it's the work on you. Are you willing to put the work in on yourself on a day-to-day basis? This is why I'm so big on this. This is why I do these calls, to give you guys a reminder on a day-to-day, like, hey, look, I want all of y'all to win. I want all of you to make millions of dollars, retire your families, travel the world, break generational curses, create generational wealth for your family. But in reality, the only way that's going to happen is not going to be by you going out and making sales. It's not going to happen by you building this company or whatever it is that you think you're going to do. The only way that's going to happen is by you becoming a better version of you. That's the only way that this is going to happen. You're going to have to overcome all your fears. You're going to have to overcome that self-doubt. You're going to have to get rid of your insecurities. You're going to have to master your emotional intelligence. You're going to have to become a more disciplined person. All of that has to do with you. Because the challenges we face in life is not because life is throwing them at us. It's because we're creating them based off of the person that we are. Every challenge we have in life is created by us. Everything, believe it or not, whether you did it consciously or unconsciously, they were created by us. Everything in our reality is created by us. So we have to overcome that. We have to create new realities, new time frames, new paradigms to think from. So the biggest enemy that we're going to fight in life on this journey is ourselves. So that's why we are, every day that you wake up, it's a battle with yourself. This morning, it was a battle with myself. Every day is a battle with me. Huge battle. Right now, let's all be real. Put a 2 in the chat if right now you're in a battle with yourself, with something. Whether it's your finances, whether it's spirituality, whether it's physically, whether it's emotionally, whether it's however it is. We are all in a battle with ourselves. I'm battling myself every day in different areas. Certain days I'm battling myself spiritually. Certain days I'm battling myself physically. Certain days I'm battling myself emotionally. Certain days I'm battling myself mentally. It's the battle every day. Like, people may look at me and you know what? I feel like we're all at fault for a way, because on Instagram, we only show the good. We show the accomplishments. We show the travel. We show all the good things. But when was the last time any of us went on Instagram and showed one of the days that we were struggling? One of the days that we were crying because of whatever happened? One of the days that maybe you sinned. Nobody's posting their sins on social media, right? And I get it. Obviously, those things are meant to be more private or whatever it is. But the thing is that a lot of people think that entrepreneurship is just sunshine and rainbows until it comes up and it's like, yo, damn, you didn't show that part. You didn't show the entrepreneur that, it's time to pay the rent in a couple of days and they're still trying to figure out how they're going to come up with the money. That's real in entrepreneurship. I know people right now at this very moment, that got to pay rent in a couple of days. And they're still trying to figure out how they're going to come up with a couple of $1,000s to pay for their rent. People don't talk about that part of entrepreneurship. People don't talk about the part of entrepreneurship where you've been doubting yourself for so long and now you're in a position to change lives and people are counting on you, but you don't even count on yourself yet. Those are the things that happen in this game. But it's all because we're the biggest enemies. Now, what is the solution to this? What is the solution to overcoming your enemy? Is the work on you. It's the work on you, family. That's really the only solution for this. It's the morning routines. It's the gym. It's you stepping into becoming better versions of yourselves, learning those skills, overcoming those fears, getting uncomfortable. Because I think about back to my days when I was living in my parents' house. When I was living in my parents' house, I was very comfortable. The old me had overcome. I used to be a kid back living in my parents' house who used to smoke weed every day, go out and drink on the weekend. I wanted to be around the boys. I wanted to have multiple girls. It was just, I was all over the place. And what I realized was that I was my biggest enemy during this time. My money was very low and I had to cut everything off, right? When they say that elevation requires isolation or separation, whichever one you want to call it, it's real. I had to separate myself from the distractions, from the women, from my friends, from the drugs, from the alcohol. I had to separate myself from all of it and focus on me, make myself a priority. Maybe this is the year, if you haven't done this yet, this is the year that you need to go all in on you. Maybe this is the reminder, maybe this is the message that all of you guys are searching for right now. Maybe this is the year that you go all in on yourself. And when I say going all in on yourself, I'm not saying, oh, no, I read 10 pages a day. I'm all in on me. No, it's really sitting down strategically. Yo, I need to work on this, on this, on this, on this, on this, on this. Let me start working on it a little bit every single day. Guys, that's what I'm doing right now. Myself, as I'm speaking right now, remember, I'm looking to become a better version of me. What I did at the beginning of the year, I found out the areas that I need to work on myself. Yo, Nano, personally, this is what you need to be doing on a day-to-day basis. You got to get better with your personal development routine. I've slipped up. So you got to do this, this, and this, and that when it comes to your personal life, when it comes to your personal development. I sat down with my finances. Yo, Nano, this is how much money you're making. This is how much money you should be saving. This is how much money you should be spending on this and this and this and that. This is how much you should be investing. I'm strategically planning my stuff out. Okay. Yo, Nano, this is how it is with your relationship with God. This is something you need to work on this year. You need to be at church every Sunday. You need to be tithing more. You need to be doing more Bible study. You need to be living by more of the principles. You need to be bringing more people to church. Introduce more people to the Word of God. Make sure that you're serving as well, right? So I sat down and I strategically sat down and did this. All right. Same with social media. And we need to put yourself out there more. You need to post more. You need to get involved in more podcasts. You need to hire somebody. You need to, right? I sat down and individually, I strategically broke myself down into different areas and I worked on it. I worked on myself and every day I do my best. Am I perfect every day? No. Do I still have slip ups? Yes. Do I still spend some time, spend too much money on certain things? Yes. It doesn't happen overnight. It wasn't like I created the plan and then I was perfect overnight. I still have days that I've slipped up on my morning routine. I still have days that I've slipped up on my finances, on not going to church and a couple of things. I still have those slip ups. So I'm not sitting here and telling you guys I got it all figured out and I'm perfect. No. What I'm saying is I'm a work in progress myself. But I'm working towards it. I'm consciously doing it on a day-to-day basis. It's not like I'm just waking up every day and I'm just hoping that everything is going to change. That's what I don't want you guys to do. Because I also remember being that person where I would just wake up and I would hope for things to change, but I wasn't doing anything to change. I didn't have a plan for my personal development. I didn't have a plan for my physical body. Think about it. That was another thing I didn't mention. Guys, I hired a trainer. And is it going to cost me more money a month to hire a trainer? Yes, but you know why I did it? My mentor once told me something. He said, Nano, he said, the money that you spend on yourself on a monthly basis is not money spent, is money invested. Never feel bad to invest back into yourself. That money never goes. What did he say? He said that money never goes something. He said it never goes wasted. It never goes untouched, something like that. That type of money that you invest into yourself is the best money that you can invest. Because think about it. Everything else is spent. It goes. It's done. But the money that you invest into you is so important. So when you invest into eating the right foods, when you invest into having a trainer, when you invest into your health, those are the best investments you can make. So I said, you know what? I'm going to hire a trainer. It's going to cost me a little bit more a month. Fine. But now I have the accountability. Now my trainer is giving me a nutrition plan that I need to follow. All right. I have the accountability. I have all these things. And no matter what, even if I don't want to work out today, I got to go because that's what I pay him for. I pay him to train me on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I pay him to train me Tuesdays and Thursdays. So what I got to do, no matter what, I got to be there, rain or shine. And guess what? It has helped me out so much because one of the things I wanted to do this year was step into the best physical body ever. Because if you feel good about yourself, then guess what attitude you have towards the world? You have the attitude that, hey, I feel great about myself. So everything else you're going to start to feel great about, because if I feel good with me, I'm going to feel good with everything else in my life. So I'm like, Nano, get right with yourself. Guess what? Because I'm feeling good about myself, I'm feeling good about my personal development. My personal development is going good. My finances are going good. My finances are going good. My relationship with God is going good. My relationship with God is going good. Everything just helps and compensates and helps each other, and it complements each other naturally. And next thing you know, you're doing that for 3 months, 6 months, a year, and things start to change for you, fam. Things start to change for you. I'm telling you. I promise you. But you have to be working towards it every day. Because I know I'm my biggest enemy. I know that. I know I'm my biggest enemy. So I got to work to defeat the enemy inside. I'm going to get the enemy inside of me that doesn't want me to go to the gym. That's why I hired a trainer. The enemy that doesn't want me to read the Bible, I'm going to read the Bible. Like, the other version of me doesn't want me to do those things because it wants me to stay comfortable. It wants me to stay complacent. It wants me to stay where I'm at. You got to fight that enemy every single day. We are the biggest enemies we're going to fight on a day-to-day. But like I said, it's not going to happen overnight. And the reason why I can sit here and be vulnerable with all of you and tell you guys like, yo, I still have slip-ups and I still don't got it all figured out is because I don't want you guys to think that it's going to be a perfect journey. It's not going to be you sit down, you write it down, and then the next day it's all perfect. And 7 days later, a month later, your whole life changed and you have millions in the bank and everything is figured out. It's not like that. It takes monthly, constant challenges after week, after months of work and development and more and more and more. Overcoming this, overcoming that, getting rid of this fear, overcoming that doubt, getting rid of this limiting belief, securing yourself with these insecurities. Yo, it takes years of work. Not saying you won't get results in the process, but what I'm saying is a journey. It's a journey. So the first thing that they don't tell you about entrepreneurship is that the biggest enemy is going to be yourself. That's number one. Number two, this was one of the hardest pills that I had to swallow. This is the second thing they don't tell you about entrepreneurship. And all of us have heard this. No one is coming to save you. Let me tell you that. My brother Bahra was goody. I used to think that people were coming to save me. To be real, I don't know why I was so naive to think like, yo, Nano, you're a good person. Somebody got to come save you at some point. Like there's no way that people are going to just let you go to waste as a good guy, Like I really believed in my heart that I was going to be the one that somebody came to save. Like I'm like, yo, Nano, you're a good person. You do right by people. You're a very talented kid. You always do the right things. You lead by example. Someone's going to save you at some point, No one is coming to save you, bro. No one. They'll leave you out. Yo, let me tell you something real quick. They leave you out to die out there, bro. If you really believe that someone is coming to save you, it's not going to happen, bro. There's no such thing as someone coming and giving you the magic keys to success, and no one is going to retire your mom for you. No one is going to put your kids in private school for you. No one is going to buy you first-class flights to your favorite vacation spots. No one is going to retire yourself and put the money in no one is coming to do that. Me too, Holly. Facts. I always thought someone was gonna come save me at some point. No one is gonna do the work for you, bro. So just know no one is coming to save you. And it was a hard pill for me to swallow, because I guess I live in this world that I'm like, man, because I'm such a good person, right? I want to save people. So like my idea is I would save somebody. Like I would be the person to help and save somebody. But then I realized, I'm like, yo, Nano, not everybody's like you. And you're like that small percentage of people that would save somebody. But the rest of these people, no one wants to save nobody. Everybody's out for themselves. As messed up as that may sound, everybody's out for themselves. I do my best to be some. This is why I do these calls. My these calls for me is me saving people. Like whether one, if there was one person on this call or whether there was 10,000 people on this call, I'll still do this call because I want to save people from themselves. There is no shortcut to this. Right? There is no shortcut. There is no perfect mentor. There is none of that. There is no perfect course that's going to come in. This is all on you. No one is going to save your family for you. You want to provide a better life for your family, it's going to take you. You know, I got my brother, Alex here, right? I'll use Alex as an example. Alex is a father. If Alex wants his son, Luciano, to have a better life growing up, it's going to be on him, right? It's not going to be on anybody else. Okay. Can I offer him a helping hand? Absolutely. Can I be there as a brother? Absolutely. But it's up to Alex at the end of the day. Who's going to buy that house for his mom? It has to be Alex. If he wants a fly, who's going to buy those flights for him? It's going to have to be Alex. Right? So, and it goes the same for everybody that's on this call. It's the same for me. You think anybody's just going to come and throw me here, Nano, here's the money to buy your mom and dad that house you always wanted to get them. No one's going to do that for me. No one's going to do that for me. I don't even think I don't know if people even do that. It's all on Nano. I got to go make it happen. I got to go become the person that is deserving of those things. And plus, I wouldn't want anybody to do that for me. Think about it. You think Alex would want me to be the one to give him the money to buy the house for his family? No, he wouldn't want that. As much as he would appreciate it, but he wouldn't want that. He's like, yo, Nano, that's my responsibility. Which the same way is for you. It's your responsibility. It's our responsibility. Right? You don't want nobody. Would you want me to be the one to pay for your kids' private school? No. You would want to be the one like, yo, I made the money. I became the successful person. Let me pay for my kids to go to private school, the best schools in the country. You got to go do it yourself. Stop thinking that anybody is coming to save you. You got to learn how to solve your own problems. You got to learn how to develop the right skills. You got to learn how to make sure that you never quit when things get hard and keep pushing. There is no shortcuts. Stop trying to let me tell you guys, I tried a couple of shortcuts in the journey and they all came to bite me later. Truth be told. I've tried shortcuts and they've all came to bite me in the butt later on. All of them. They always do. There is no shortcuts, bro. You got to pay this in full. There is no discount. There is no discount. You got to pay it in full. So the second thing that I want you guys to know, and look, I used to be the one that I used to hear people say like, yo, no one is coming to save you. And I used to be like, nah, no way. People are going to come save me. Bro, let me tell you right now, after being in this journey 7 years, no one is dead ass coming to save you. You got to make it happen yourself. You really have to be the one that steps up and recognizes that you're going to have to be the one that saves yourself. You could be the only one that saves your family. And all of you that are on this call, you got people counting on you. Your family's counting on you. The future generation is counting on you. Your friends are counting on you. A lot of us, in reality, we are the chosen ones. If you want to save your friends and your family, you got to save yourself first, because remember, you got to leave them to lead them. I always remember that. You got to leave them to lead them. You got to leave people to lead them. So no one is coming to save you. You got to put the work on yourself. That's number 2. Number 3, write this one down. And this is super important because, right, if you leave them, you lead them, right? But what number 3 says is that loneliness is part of the game. Loneliness is part of the game. And I want to let you guys know that because I have felt very lonely at times. Put a 1 in the chat box if you've ever felt lonely during your journey at some point, right? Or maybe you feel lonely right now. Loneliness is part of the game. Unfortunately, it is. But it's part of it. Like I said earlier, elevation requires isolation. You know why that is? It's because most people won't understand your journey. Most people won't understand your vision. You know, I heard this thing once that said, you know, God whispers a vision in certain people's ears, and only a few listen. Too many are distracted by the noise around them. But those that were listening heard the whisper. You guys are on this call. We have over 120, 130 people on today's call right now, right? God whispered a vision in all of our ears. We heard it. That's why we're here on this call. A lot of other people didn't hear because of the distractions that were happening around them. But now we're on this journey and we feel alone because nobody else is doing it with us. Nobody else wants to read the books. Nobody else wants to invest into themselves. Nobody else wants to stop drinking, stop smoking. Nobody else wants to do these things. It almost feels like it's just you that wants to do it. It's just you that wakes up and works on themselves. It's just you that is investing in crypto. It's just you that is doing the things that nobody else is doing. You took the road less traveled. So now you spend a lot of time alone. It's just you that wants to go to the gym and works on themselves. It feels like you're alone, and that's part of the game. You'll spend a lot of time alone. Let me tell you guys something. Majority of my journey, especially at the beginning, I spent it alone. Majority of it. Because think about this. I grew up in Washington Heights, New York City, in the hood, right? This is where I grew up. So imagine telling my friends, yo, let's wake up every day at 5 in the morning. Let's walk to the park. Let's meditate together. Let's read together. And let's write in our journals together. Imagine telling your friends to do that with you. Most of them never went with me. And if they did go with me, they went once and then they never went again. They're like, nah, bro, no chance we're gonna. He's like, yo, you doing this every day? Nah, my brother, you good? I'm chilling. I'm gonna wake up. They're like, peace, my boy. They went with me once or twice to show support. Bro, I had to go every day by myself, dolo, 7 days a week. Every day. So while everybody was sleeping, Nana was up. And every day, rain or shine, I would walk to the park. I was up every day at 5 in the morning, 5:55. I was in the park by 6:15 by myself. The only people in the park at that time were people that were there to walk their dogs early in the morning. It was me and I will never do my routine at home. I couldn't do my routine at home because remember, I was living with my parents. So once I woke up, my parents are already getting ready to go to work. So the news is on, My mom is moving around. My father has, one of the closets in my room was his closet. So he's coming in and now getting dressed. So, there was just so many distractions at my house. My mom is making breakfast. The news are on. They're talking. There was no peace in my house. So the only peace I had was to leave my house and go to the park a couple blocks away and sit under a tree by myself and do my routine. And I was doing that every day by myself every single day. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. From 6 a.m. to 9 a.m., I did that every day by myself. 98% of the times, maybe 99% of the times, I was by myself. There was a couple of times that a friend came with me, a brother came with me, whatever, but they never came consistently. They will come once in a while, like, oh, you know what, bro, I'll go with you tomorrow. But they never came consistently. Never. I was always by myself. I was working out by myself. I was reading by myself. I was going to the gym by myself. Everything was by myself. Nobody wanted to be on the same type of time as me, bro. And after a while, I had to accept it. And you know what? For a very long time, I held resentment towards my friends. I feel like that's something that I've had to heal from, even still to this day. Because it bothered me so much that I'm like, yo, why would you choose to stay average when we could have just chose to be great together? Like, that bothers me still to this day. Like, why would you choose to stay average when we could go be great together? Like, that hurts, especially the people that you love, like that bothers me. Regardless of however it is that, you want to put it, that hurts. You almost like, damn it, because we used to talk about this. We used to talk about getting rich together, you know, traveling the world together. We used to talk about the team of Rolls Royces and, yo, we're going to pull up and everybody's going to have their dream car. And, I'm going to be able to pull up to your mansion. And then we get an opportunity to do it. And then you choose to do the opposite. That hurt me at the time. It still does to this day, to be real. It bothers me. But it's a pill that you got to learn how to swallow. People don't want that stuff. Some people don't want it. And that's the reality of the situation, unfortunately. As crazy as that may sound, that is the reality of the situation. And it is what it is. Still love them, my brothers forever. But it bothers you because you wanted it to be a specific way and it didn't. You wanted people to be there with you. You wanted to have a partner. The best accountability partner you could have is yourself. No one is going to hold you accountable, bro. People don't care that much. People don't care that much. I'm telling you that right now. People do not care that much. You have to be the best accountability partner you have. Nobody cares. You think if I would have slipped up on my morning routine during those days, you think they would have cared? Like, yo, Nano, you doing your morning routine every day? No, bro, they wouldn't have cared. Yo, you eating the right foods, Nano? You're going to the gym? Nobody would have asked me those questions, bro. Nobody cares. Remember, people want to see you do good, just never better than them. Just never better than them. You are the best accountability partner that you have. You got to be willing to hold yourself accountable. And because you're on a journey to become the better version of you, you're going to be by yourself majority of the time. You'll be lucky if you have somebody that wants to do it with you. You're lucky if you have somebody that wants to do it with you, that's going to ride it with you, the journey. But in reality, guys, this whole journey, you're going to have to do it. You're going to have to figure it out on your own until you find people that you can do it with. You see, now I'm blessed because I have people to do it with now. But in the beginning, I was by myself majority of the time. Now I have a whole team of people that are on the same type of time as me. Right? I'm grateful. I got a team of hundreds of people that I could do it with and that are my accountability partners and all of that stuff. But back then, it was all alone. And I didn't have a girlfriend that was also on the same type of time as me back then. So if you have a partner right now and she's on the same type of time as you, or he's on the same type of time as you, that's a blessing. And let me tell you, if they're not on the same type of time as you, I'll work them. That's all it is. I'll work them. Inspire them with your actions. That's all it is. That's all you can do. Don't let them be the one to hold you back. That's all you can do. Lead by example. And if you outgrow them, then that's a conversation you got to have with them later. Like, yeah, my brother Hector and Karina, I love them. They're on PR. My brother Hector and Karina, they're a couple. But you know what the beautiful thing about them is? They work at everything together. They build a business together. They work out together. They travel together. They do everything together. And they're pushing each other to become the best versions of themselves. They do their morning routine together. They read together. They go to church together. They do everything together. That's beautiful. That's awesome. If you have something like that, cherish that. Appreciate that. You know, because obviously two is better than one. They're using two energies to create the life that they want. But not everybody's blessed like Hector and Karina. Some people, unfortunately, you're going to have to do it on your own. Some people have couples, but they're not on the same type of time. And that's also okay. At the end of the day, it's up to you. You got to make it happen. You got to be the one that understands that, hey, it may be lonely for the time being. Look, it was lonely for me, but look, now I'm blessed. Now I have more than enough people to do it with. Okay. And I'm grateful for it all. And that's the beauty of it. So number 3 is loneliness is a part of the game. You got to remember this. Loneliness is a part of the game until you're able to find more people to do it with. That was number 3. Number 4, and this is important. Okay. Let me tell you guys something here. You're going to fail. I know you guys already know this, but I feel like a lot of people don't understand this about entrepreneurship. You're going to fail. But FAIL, the word fail stands for first attempt in learning. Failing is a part of the game. You're going to fail. FAIL, first attempt in learning. That's all part of it. Put a fail in the chat box if you failed in your entrepreneurship journey at some point. Put a fail in the chat box if you failed in your life real quick. And look, I only do that because I want you to see that you're not the only one. Look, 1,000 times from Nano. I love seeing the Nano in the chat because I was like, oh, that's dope. Or maybe you say it Nino because I'm Spanish, so we say Nano, but I know in English is Nino. But I failed more times than I can even count. Literally thousands of times. Like Nino said in the chat, thousands of times. Literally failed so many times in my life. So many times. I still fail to this day. I mean, I failed last week. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're always failing. That's part of the game. One thing I remember the other day, I got asked in a podcast. Somebody asked me, yo, Neno, what do you think has been the competitive advantage that you've had over so many other people in the world? Why do you think, you've been able to keep going and so many others haven't? And I'm like, yo, because I have a great ability to deal with failure. Like, I'm just really good at dealing with failure. I've just learned to look at failure in such a positive way that I don't let failure get the best of me like I used to. I'll be honest. At some point, I used to let failure get the best of me. But I've learned about perception. I've learned how to look at things. I've learned that if you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. Exactly, Holly, on some Thomas Edison type vibe, right? The story of Thomas Edison, it took him 10,000 attempts to complete the light bulb. And when they asked him, hey, it took you 10,000 attempts to, complete the light bulb. And you know what he said? He said, no, I just found 9,999 ways that didn't work. The 10,000th time, it worked. And I don't know how true the story is or whatever it is. Maybe it is like that. Maybe it did take him 10,000 times. But the moral of the story is that right now you may be going through a time in your life where you're going through one of your failed attempts. It took him 9,999 failed attempts. So the way I look at my life is sometimes it's like, okay, Nano, well, that didn't work. Then that was one of the failed attempts. Failed attempt, failed attempt, failed attempt, failed attempt, failed attempt. It is what it is. All it takes is how many? One. All it takes is that one right attempt and your whole life changes. So you got to understand you're going to fail. I failed so many times. I failed at investing. I failed at trading. I failed at merchandise. I failed at relationships. I failed at, building my business. I failed in so many different ways. I tell people all the time, all it takes is that one time for us to get it right in building the business. We'll build a successful organization that people are going to, remember forever. All it takes is that one crypto investment for everything to change. All it takes is that one trade. All it takes is that one big leader. All it takes is all of that one thing for all of it to change. You understand what I'm saying? Like, that's all it takes. I know people that are one trade away from changing their lives. I know I know people right now that are one crypto investment from changing their life. I know people right now that are one recruit away, one leader away from transforming their situation. One song from my artists out there, one song away from changing their lives forever. One right product, e-commerce product or merchandise or digital product from changing their lives forever. Just one. But guess what? In the process is a bunch of failed attempts. Is a bunch of failed attempts, and you got to keep that in mind, guys. That's all part of it. My mentor once said, Nano, when you fail, pop the champagne. Pop it and celebrate. Be happy. You know why? Because this is only going to make you better. He said, nothing is good or bad. It's what you make it. I'll never forget those words. I got to give a lot of credit to like the books that I've read, the stories that I've learned, the Thomas Edison story. There was a lot of things that I've learned throughout my life that has allowed me to look at failure a different way. The pop the champagne. When I think of failure, I think about popping the champagne. I think about Thomas Edison. I think about the acronym, fail, first attempt in learning. I think about what my mentor always told me. He said, yo, nothing is good or bad, is what you make it. So every time something happens in my life, I'm like, yo, it's what I make it. If I make this bad, it'll be bad. If I make it good, it'll be good. Right? This is a blessing in disguise. Sometimes God gift wraps your blessings in challenges. Crazy how that works, right? I think about the story of Job in the Bible. I think about all those things. And then I'm able to look at it from a different perspective. Because like they say, if you change the way that you look at things, the things you look at change. So I've changed the way that I look at failure. I've changed it. I've changed it so much. A couple weeks ago, I was talking to one of my leaders. She was telling me like, yo, Nano, I keep going out there and nobody's joining my business, bro. No one's joining my business. I'm calling people, I'm texting people, I'm posting on social media, but nobody's going. And I'm like, yo, right now, maybe you're going through one of those seasons that is a dry season for you. But just keep pushing. You're going to find the right people. I'm telling you. Guess what? Exactly what I said exactly happened. She found the right people. She found the right people. Now she has great leaders in her business that are building the business, that are doing exactly what she wants to do. And now everything is working in her favor. Notice how beautiful things happen to people that just wait. If she would have quit during that time, maybe she don't get that blessing. You just got to keep going. You're going to fail. Guys, you don't know how many times I have failed. I have failed so much time. And I'm glad that God has used me as that example of, hey, I'm not going to give it to you right away. I'm going to make you wait. Because I want you to be the example for the rest of the world that it takes time. It takes time, Nano. You're going to have to work. You're going to be the example for the rest of the world that nothing happens overnight. This is how it's done. This is the right way to get what you want. You got to put in the time, the effort, the energy, and you never got to quit on the way there. So you got to go, and you got to understand that that's part of the game. You're going to fail so much, a lot. As a matter of fact, you're going to fail more than you succeed. Put a 2 in the chat box if you have failed more than you've succeeded in life. Let's all be real quick. I can tell you right now, as much success as I've had, I have failed way more than I've succeeded. Way more. For every 100 failures, I probably have like 1 or 2 wins. But Nano, why is it like that? I don't know. Ask God. Don't ask me. That's just the way the cookie crumbles, bro. But why do I have to go? Why do I have to put myself through that? Because that's the price that we all got to pay. You want to be successful, you want to live an abundant life, you're going to have to fail your way to success. And you're going to have to find a way to look at find a way to look at failure in a positive light instead of a negative light. And that's the reality of the situation. I don't know why it's like that. I don't focus on that. Like Jim Rohn says, that's just the way it is. It's true. Like, he's like, yo, when you get your own planet, you can make the deal. But while you're in this planet, you got to follow the rules here. That's just the way it is. I think about Jim Rohn all the time. That's just the way it is, Nano. Can't go around it. You got to fail your way to success. So that's number 4, right? And then last but not least, number 5. Number 5 is another thing. The last thing. So far, we've gone over the 5 things that they won't tell you about entrepreneurship. So I'm going to cover them one more time from the top. We said number 1, your biggest enemy is yourself. We said number 2, no one is coming to save you. We said number 3 is that loneliness is a part of the game. What's goody? Shout out 170 facts. Loneliness is a part of the game. Number 4 is you're gonna fail. And then last but not least, number 5 is this: money won't solve all your problems. That's something that people don't tell you about entrepreneurship. And look, guys, I'm gonna tell you something right here. I've been blessed and very fortunate to make a good amount of money, but I've also been very blessed and very fortunate to also have people around me who've made lots of money. And I can tell you right now that money will not solve all your problems. You want to know what true wealth is? True wealth isn't just financially. You know what the true wealth of life is? Peace of mind, bro. Having peace of mind. That's being wealthy. Peace of mind and having a healthy body is the real wealth in life. Money will not solve all your problems. I mean, ask some of the richest people out there. They'll tell you themselves that money. I know, listen to me. I know people who have money who are miserable. Miserable. I promise you that. Friends of mine that got money, that got it all figured out, that on Instagram, you would think that you would be like, yo, I want that life. And I'm telling you, you don't. You think that money could solve all your problems, but it doesn't, bro. Is it used? Is it great? Do we need it? Is it a great tool? Yes. And I'm not here to say that we don't need money. We do need money. We need money. We need it so that we can become better versions of ourselves and we can provide. What I'm saying is, don't make that your main goal. Focus on you. Develop you. All right. If you good with yourself, that's all it is, right? What's that Bible verse says? You know, what does it profit a man to gain the world but lose his soul? What does it profit you to go get all the things that you want, but you're not good with yourself? What does it profit you? You know, none of that stuff is going to really solve you. This is why I always tell people, yo, get right with you. You know what the journey has taught me, to be real with you, after like being around all these millionaires and all that stuff? I realized, like, yo, Neno, just make sure that you're right with you and with God throughout the whole journey. So that when you do get to those levels and you do have the millions in the bank and you living, in your dream houses and all of that stuff, and you're doing all of those things, now you have the most important part, which is peace of mind. You're healthy, your family's good, you have a great relationship with God, and you'll be able to live a real wealthy life. So start working on that stuff now. That's what I look at it as, bro. Be real. Like I said, I have a lot of friends who are rich, and I know some of them are freaking miserable. You know why? Because of their mindset. They got no peace of mind. They have no relationship with God. They don't know what they're doing. They numb the pain with alcohol and drugs and all these things, and they don't have relationships with God, and they're just living their lives, whatever. And what I've learned from those people is, Nano, make sure you're good. Develop yourself now. Use that. Remember, because God teaches you two ways. He teaches you through your experiences, but through other people's experiences. Nano, you're young right now. You just turned 30. Work on your body now. So when you're 40, 50, you're healthy, you're good. Start investing in your health from now. Start building that relationship with God from now. Start developing these skills. Practice this, do this, read that, write this down, this. Work on you now so that when you're 40, when you're 50, your life is set for good. While everyone else is still going to be working and miserable and all these things because they didn't do the work, you're going to be living the life of your dreams at peace, filled with wealth, abundance, God favoring. But guys, we got to put that work in now. The money's going to come. It will come. I'm telling you, it comes. But put the work into you. And then when the money comes, you'll be able to enjoy the money. What would it cost? Why would I want the money if I'm not going to be able to enjoy it? If I'm miserable all the time, why would I want that? I want to be happy with myself. I want to be in the best shape of my life. I want to be in the most peaceful state of mind that I can be in. I want to make sure that everything is taken care of. And I'm telling you, that's the best way to live it. And I can tell you that because as much rich friends that I've had that are miserable, I've also met the ones that are living at peace and have real wealth, that have their families, they're at peace, they have their relationship with God, they're married, all their bills are paid, all their taxes are paid, they travel the world, they live the most abundant life. I have both type of friends, so I know what each side is, and I've learned from that. And like I told you guys the other day, and I'll leave you guys with this. I told you guys a story about one of my friends who is a multiple 8-figure earner, almost a billionaire. And I had asked him a question, and I said to him, I'm like, yo, what's a piece of advice you would have for me? I'm 30 years old and, I'm just working to become successful. What's the best piece of advice that you have for me? You know what he told me? He said, bro, I wish I would have appreciated the journey more. I wish I would have appreciated the journey more. He was like, I was too in a rush to get here. He like, now I'm here and it's like, I don't have nothing to do anymore. I said, I got the house, I got the car, my family's good, my mom and dad are retired, I got all the dream cars in the garage. He's like, man, I miss the days when I was going through the challenges and the hustle and the bustle. Like he said, I miss those days, bro. I wish I wasn't such in a rush back in the days. I was such in a rush to get here, and now I'm here, and it's like, now what? That's what he told me. Because I guess he's in a period in his life where he's trying to find out what's next now. Because he's done it all. He's done everything that he ever wanted to accomplish, everything he ever put on his piece of paper. He was like, yo, I did it all. I want to imagine getting to the point where your vision board is your reality. He got to that point. He got to the point where his vision board is his reality. So the cars, the clothes, the travel, the this, the mom, the dad, the wedding, the this, he did it. And he's still in his early 40s. He's like, no, now what? So he's kind of like in that. And when I asked him the question, he was like, yo, to be honest, Nano, I would tell you, yo, enjoy the journey, bro. Enjoy the journey, because once you got it, you got it. That's it. You're going to be always going to be looking for something to do. And you know what? He's not a public speaker, so it's not like he could go out there and, he made his money other ways. For me, I'm gonna be doing public speaking engagements till I'm 90, 100 years old, on stage, running it up. I'm gonna be doing mornings with Nano while I'm in my 90s, But not everybody has the same journey. So appreciate your journey, guys. Appreciate it. Love it. Even if it sucks. You know what's funny? One day you're gonna be talking about the moments that sucked more than the moments that you celebrated. These are the moments you talk about, the moments where it hasn't been working for you and all these things. These are the moments you preach about. You don't talk about the days where you accomplished everything, this and this and that. Nah, bro. You talk about the days where you failed and it didn't work out. In fact, that's where a lot of us fail, because we want to rush through God's process, but we all have our time set. We just have to keep faith, keep grinding. A lot of us quit halfway through the process. Facts, Gio. That's big facts. Yo, don't rush. I get it. No, what I'm saying is, don't rush. Enjoy the process. Love it. Appreciate it. At least that was good. Appreciate it. Love it. And work your butt off. Get there if you got to get there. But love the journey. Appreciate the process while you're there. And I'm telling you, everything else will take care of itself. All right, guys. So those are the 5 things that they don't tell you about entrepreneurship. Number 1 is that your biggest enemy is yourself. Number 2 is that no one is coming to save you. Number 3 is loneliness is a part of the game. Number 4, you will fail. And number 5 is money won't solve all your problems. It won't. True freedom is in the mind. True freedom is giving your life to your creator. That's true freedom. Everything else is a byproduct of it. And that's a fact. So put a 5 in the chat box if you guys got value from the 5 things that they don't tell you about entrepreneurship. And this is real stuff. And this was something that was taught to me by somebody that's a multiple 7-figure earner in entrepreneurship. He said, these are the 5 things that they won't tell you. Number 1, your biggest enemy is yourself. Number 2, no one is coming to save you. Number 3, loneliness is a part of the game. Number 4, you will fail. And number 5 is that money won't solve all your problems. That is the truth right there. Stick with that. Remember that right there. Write them down, share with a friend, do a reel from it, build something out of it. But I'm telling you guys, these are 5 things that as you go throughout your journey, you'll start to realize like, yo, damn, Nano was right. No one is coming to save me. I am my biggest enemy. Yo, there is a lot of lonely nights and lonely mornings, right? I am failing a lot. You are going to get money and you're going to realize like, not all your problems disappear. You may be able to pay your bills. You may be able to buy certain things for you. But remember, a lot of problems are internal. So money doesn't solve every problem. It solves the bills. It takes care of things. It makes your quality of life better. But the best wealth that you can have is peace of mind and a relationship with God. You have those 2 things, that's where you're wealthy and you're blessed and you're grateful and everything works in your favor. But in the meantime, make sure you guys develop that. All right, guys. So I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. That is my training for today. Remember, guys, I'm live on YouTube and Instagram Tuesdays and Thursdays at 10:30 a.m. Right now, we got about 35 people on Instagram. We got about 100 people on YouTube. We got about 130 to 150 people we've had on this call. Love you, Gio. Appreciate you, bro, for hopping on. Appreciate the love. I'm going to do a little prayer for us before we go. I'm going to just practice some gratitude. Just give thanks to God for everything. And we'll finish the call right there. All right, guys. So quick little prayer, if you guys allow me to. Everybody bow your heads. Let's pray. Father God, we just want to say thank you so much for allowing us to wake up on this beautiful Thursday morning. Today, we learned some very valuable lessons about the journey itself. And we just want to say thank you so much for your love, for your protection, for your wisdom, the knowledge, for creating a community that is cultivated around you being in the center. Continue to give us all the strength and everything that we need to continue to go out there and become the best versions of ourselves so that we can be the example that we want to see in the rest of the world, God. Thank you, thank you, thank you for it all. We give you thanks ahead of time for everything that you're going to do for us. But most importantly, we give you thanks for being here through this journey with us and holding our hand in the process. We love you. We appreciate you. We give you all the praise and all the glory. And in God's name we pray. Amen. Amen, amen, amen. God bless you guys. I hope you guys have a beautiful rest of your days. Go out there, be great, give glory to God, and understand that this is all part of the journey. It's going to be lonely some days, but it's all right. All right. You know, you're going to be your biggest enemy. Just keep working on yourself. That's part of the game. Read the books, go to the events, do what's required. Right. You're going to fail. If you're failing, let it be. Remember, change the way that you're looking at your failures. Everything works out in your favor. And that's the name of the game. And I know that it's all going to work out for you as well, fam. So I love y'all. I appreciate you guys. And I will see you guys on the next call on Tuesday. God bless, fam. Thank you.